Another great edition of the Tirreno-Adriatico draws to a close. Sunshine once more and virtually no wind for the final day, and one for the sprinters after 3 days of climbing. Well, the fast men drawn here, of course, by 3 days of sprinting. Jakobsen taking one, Philipsen another, and so honours even coming into this, but with so many other big names, how would it pan out? Well, climbing at the beginning of the day, none too short a distance at 154 kilometres, but the main character, of course, a 14.6 kilometre circuit at the very end, 5 laps ahead of us, and indeed a guaranteed dramatic finish. Well, with names like Mark Cavendish, Podium Gourmet, Jordi Meus, Jesper Philipsen, Consoni, Jakobsen, Groenewegen, Molano, Gaviria, Moschetti, you get the idea. Very much focused on the fast men, and someone like Wout van Aert, some of the classics men, could also have an option. Well, with so much at stake, save for the jerseys, of course, which almost exclusively belong to Primož Roglič, only the young rider's jersey going elsewhere to Almeida. It was a day where it was a last chance saloon, and the Breakaway decided to push on, and such quality it was as well. 8 riders of note up the road meant that the chase was always going to be a tough one, and in the mountains the gap rose to around about 3.5 minutes. Mark Cavendish just venting about the helicopter, we believe, perhaps getting too close to the riders and just distracting, who knows. When Mark's in that kind of mood, it usually garners success at the end of the day. This we were relishing. On to the circuit with some twists and turns and water carrying duties from Wout van Aert. Would he be asking for a favour a little bit later on, or is he starting to think further down the road this season? He's done a great job in support of Primož Roglič, of course, has won 3 stages in this race, coming to the final day. The final lap itself, the gap was narrowing, and we were starting to speculate whether the break would indeed make it home. But as the seconds ticked by, it seems the peloton and the fast men's teams had got it absolutely right. While some nasty pinch points around about the Flamme Rouge were always going to cause some nerves, and so it proved to be. As the kilometres ticked by, we were getting to that point where there would be a decider. Teams were moving up into position. Bora hampered just a little bit in their drive to get to this pinch. Just too wide, and when this chicane was unwound, there would be 750 metres to go. You had to really be in the top 10 if you were going to feature. Anyone else was out of it. Well, the drive came from Mathieu van der Poel, looking behind and not seeing his man. Philipsen was still waiting to see who else would join the party, and the answer was Dylan Groenewegen from Team Jayco. Also in the frame, still a way back, Alberto Dainese for Team DSM, the young sprinter from Italy. Well, once lit up, Van der Poel is an amazing lead-out man. In so doing, he just helped others. It was Ballerini, not Fabio Jakobsen, who was going for Soudal Quickstep. In the end, it was a throw to the line. Jasper Philipsen doubling up and denying Groenewegen a stage win in this race. Quality we will out, and we've had plenty of that during this race. A spectacular edition of the Tirreno-Adriatico. A worthy winner for the final sprint in Philipsen, and a worthy winner, of course, overall in Primož Roglič. Well, the race between the two seas always provides drama, and occasionally it opens the door in our consciousness to consider someone new, perhaps. Just watch Dainese suddenly arriving on your screen to duke it out with 2 very big names. The young Italian has been on lead-out duties for Marius Meyerhofer for Team DSM. Today he helped himself to a stage podium ahead of Philip Bauhaus, who won this stage last year. Great win for Philipsen, doubling up. But the man who trebled up was, of course, Primož Roglič. Roglič taking the race by 18 seconds clear of Almeida, who wins the Young Riders classification. Theo Gegenhardt making the podium, denying Leonard Kemner and some other great names here. Roglič is absolutely where he wants to be. Get used to that celebration. We have here 3 wins, brings him the blue jersey and of course Neptune's Trident, the best looking trophy in cycling. He also owns the Ciclamino, winning the points classification, and he's king of the mountains as well, having won all 3 mountain stages. Young rider, João Almeida, the Portuguese, from a very strong UAE Team Emirates. What a race it's been. Tirreno-Adriatico never disappoints. We'll see you next year.